Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the first of our Women and Wealth series for the month of August, which is Women's Month. And this month, we have got a jam-packed series of powerhouse women. And no better to start off with Hilda Lunderstedt, who is born and bred in South Africa and really one of our biggest fans. So thank you for joining us tonight. We have got lots of people who are joining us from all over the world. So just to make sure that you know where our chat box is, where you can post questions or comments throughout there, please let us know where you're joining us from. We'd love to hear where everyone is coming from. There's also a Q&A box. So throughout the evening, please just type your Q&As in there. We'll make sure that Hilda's on the hot seat towards the end of the webinar and answering all of your questions. So without further ado, I'd like to hand over to Megan and Pamela, who actually put this whole series together and have been dealing with our panelists and our speakers. Welcome, Megs and Pamela.
Thanks, Lee. Hi, everybody. It's nice to see so many people coming on, and they're coming on in numbers. So the reason why we did Women and Wealth is because Hilda's also very passionate about women, and we had an amazing event in Cape Town. And we want to, obviously following COVID, we want to help, we want to motivate and bring everyone back. So we decided to get our shareholder, our biggest fan, our board member, and a South African female entrepreneur who's created a name for herself. She's super powerful. So that's why we decided Hilda, the first choice, first person that came to mind was always Hilda. So that's why we decided on Hilda. People that don't know who Wealth Migrate is, so with Wealth Migrate, so what we do is we are an online real estate platform. We bring international properties from USA and Australia to everyday investors, so they can also invest like the top 1%. Pamela, is there anything you want to say before we hand over to Hilda?
Hello, everyone. I feel like at this point in time, I feel like I'm traveling the whole world in 60 seconds because I'm seeing so many people from so many places, and it's amazing. So my name is Pamela, and I'm the junior company administrator. I basically report to Megs, and when I heard about, or when I started at Wealth Migrate and saw this whole Women and Wealth initiative, I just thought to myself, like, wow, where's this been for the longest time? Because it is such a male-dominated field, you start feeling scared to think, oh gosh, is it even possible? But I mean, hey, we're women, we make everything possible. So without further ado, I have nothing else to say, but we can hand over to Hilda, and she can grace us with her pearls of wisdom.
Hey everyone. Listening to these ladies, and I always am nervous whenever I start talking. So just listening to them and these amazing women that I have the presence with tonight, it's sort of overwhelming and honoring and humbling all at the same time. Thank you for inviting me. I really appreciate it. You know, women, wealth, empowerment is such a big topic, and we have such a little time to discuss it. So please, I would love this to be an interactive session. If I see someone says they're backing to hear me, let me just see if I can maybe, I don't know if it's my sound that's soft. When we did the sound test, it was fine. Can everybody hear me? Is that better?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Thank you. So, you know, every time, so this session is not about me. It's about me adding value, and you, whoever is on this webinar, getting value. It's hard to talk about yourself, so you need to ask questions. I always find it hard because what I do and what I say is who I am, but for other people, that see you'll find something different. So if I tonight can make an impact on one other person, I think it will give me satisfaction. So do ask questions, and yeah, and let this be an interactive woman-to-woman discussion forum where we can all help each other. So I'm gonna, the ladies have forwarded me a few questions just to start me going. And I'm gonna share my presentation or like a couple of slides that I did. And one of the questions was actually, how did you do it in a male-dominated world? When in the 80s and 90s, everything was run by men. So for ladies that asked me in the 2020s, how did you do it? Like, you have every opportunity right now because the whole buzz is empowered women, opportunities for women. So I guess when some people right now say these women aren't empowered, it's hard for me because if you look through the 80s and 90s, that was hard times when you have to deal. But I think we just did it. And I always found the best person in the field of something I want to learn, which was obviously a man. And then I got him to teach me. So it was not opposing men or alienating men, but was learning from them. And that's how I found my empowerment, is learn. It doesn't matter if it was a man or a woman, but learn from people that's better than you. So I want to just go to my presentation and, how do I share my screen? Let me just quickly share screen. This one. Share. And here we go. Can everybody see did I do that successfully? Good.
Well done.
Thank you. So, beginning of the year, I was nominated with the Empowered Woman of the Year Award through an international business organization that I am part of. And firstly, I thought, why empowered women? Why not empowered person? Do we still distinguish men and women? But I guess that's a battle that's continuing, hopefully over the next 10 years, that we won't distinguish that an empowered woman is any different than an empowered person. But that set me off, like, what does empowerment mean? Like, how does the world see empowerment? And the definition I got off the internet was, of empowerment, it's the process of becoming stronger, more confident, and especially in the areas of controlling your own life and claiming your own rights. So in that definition, what I'm going to run through is, there's the word process, there's the word becoming stronger, there's the word confident, there's the word controlling your own life, and there's the one claiming your own rights. And I'm going to just do a quick over that, because already you can see, if you don't feel empowered, you probably can find in any of those 5 areas that you can maybe work on or become better and improve yourself in the process of self-empowerment. So if we look at process, that word to me says it's a journey. It's not an overnight thing. I'm not going to give my age, but half a century later, still in the process of becoming empowered. So do not get discouraged if you are in your 20s, 30s, 40s, whatever age, and you feel you're not there yet. There is no there in this journey. You can always just be better than what you were before if you compare. So understand and accept it's a process and it's a journey to empowerment. Becoming stronger. All of us have stuff to deal with. All of us have disappointments, have disadvantages, have stuff. The difference between some people is they let their stuff destroy them and they cannot get up when they have a problem. And the successful people become stronger and they get up despite whatever is happening. What I find, and I have had many opportunities in my life to become stronger. Every disappointment, every setback, everything I've learned now looking back, has trained me and guided me for the next time something difficult or something hard was happening. I had a set of resources I can tap into to say, hey, this has happened, this is how I dealt with it. So every time something difficult and something hard and something that you think you cannot overcome happens to you, trust and believe and have faith that this is preparation for bigger things to come, for the next step. And if you can deal with this little issue, you'll be able to deal with tomorrow's problems. And that is, every problem is your process of becoming stronger. If stronger is part of empowerment. So this is your process of empowerment. If we look at confidence, confidence to me is being your person, your own person, It means in speaking your truth. When you speak your truth and your own person, nobody can really argue with you, because then that's just their opinions. So many, especially women, are scared what other people are going to say, what other people are going to think. They have the whole world outside that dictates how they feel and how they respond and react. And that often, if you are depending on the outside views of the world, lead to you having a lack of confidence. So a lot of time I spend in finding out, like, if I think, why do I think it? Where is this coming from? And when I understand myself, my opinions, or why I have certain thoughts and opinions, I can be more confident in conveying them to other people. The next, empowerment is controlling your own life. So many people are controlled by outside forces, the world outside, the people outside themselves, and are controlled by really circumstances and things that they cannot control themselves. So, and that leaves them feeling weak and disempowered. So if you can look at the stuff that you can control and what you can control in your own world, you feel so much more empowered. And instead of becoming a victim of circumstances, you now can take ownership of the things you really want to do in life and change your journey. The last thing in empowerment, and I don't want to go on too much, is claiming your own rights. So there is all these empowerment groups, there's riots, there's all of these things happening all over the world. To me, the internal process of claiming your right is being able to have boundaries and staking your claims. It's a peaceful internal process where you clearly state, this is what I want, this is what I deserve, and this is what I stand for. And again, once you can claim your own rights, and it doesn't need to be aggressive, it doesn't need to be hard, people will accept. The rest of the world respond to you claiming your boundaries. And that is, if you can work on those 5 things, we can all be empowered in our own lives and in our own world. I'm going to move on. One of the questions I've been asked is, what tools did I use to build wealth? And I just, wealth is such a big thing, and it's wealth. The definition of wealth is really what you have left after all your money is gone. So wealth is not money. Building a wealthy life, and wealth and success will have a different definition for every person. And it doesn't matter what your definition of wealth is. What matters is that you create it and you live it. And money for most people are part of wealth, but so is family and spirituality and love, relationships, friends. That is all part of what wealth is. If you only focus on a person, only focus on the money aspects, you could potentially, you can be rich financially, but you will have be poor, maybe health-wise, poor with relationships. So I think for me, what I've noticed is different ages, different phases of life, one focuses on different things. Maybe in your earlier years, you focus on financial prosperity and becoming financially independent, rich, whatever we want to call it. And then as we go on, we focus on our health, we focus on relationships, we focus on building this life that you can look back on and say, I've done it all. So I don't want to just focus on how did I build my wealth as how did I make money? I made money through business, through working really, really hard, through seeing the opportunities in the early 2000s when there was no vitamins, where there was no health preventative medicine in South Africa, where the whole health industry was going through tremendous crisis with government stepping in, taking all profits out of medicine, and the whole industry, the medical industry, was about to collapse. And that gave me the opportunity to say, what can I do? So I've always focused on learning, finding the opportunity, how can I add value? And as I took that next step of how can I add value, my next opportunity would arise in my life. So from a concept point of view, whatever you do, you need to create it. If it's health, if it's spirituality, if it's a relationship, if it's money, you need to find out, create it. How am I going to create it? And be very clear how you're going to be creating it. And find resources, find help, find your support. How's that going to help you create it? Once you've created it, you don't want to lose it all. You need to maintain it. And that the maintaining of wealth, again, has a whole different set of skills that you need when you're in that phase. And then lastly, you need to know how to protect it. Doesn't matter you have made, let's just talk wealth as money. You made a whole lot of money. You work hard to maintain through investments or whatever you do, but then you have no structures to protect yourself and you lose it all. So to me, that are the three main, almost like circles of life, and in the middle sits you. Is if you want to have a healthy life, you need to create it, you need to maintain it, you need to find ways to protect it. If you want to have relationships, you have to create it, you have to maintain it, you have to protect it. So whatever aspect of wealth that you're working on, you're going to create, maintain, and protect. So I'm just going to share my lessons because, again, like I say, wealth and it's a lot. So the lessons I've learned in life, and I want to just share the 5, I think, major lessons. And lesson 1 is really, it's based on Steve Jobs. And really when I'm at my age of mid-50s is looking back out of the last couple of decades, you can really see how the dots, how every experience connected me to the next experience. And when you're young, you can't always see that. Steve Jobs said in one of his speeches that you cannot connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect the dots when you look back. So I have developed a belief system that everything that happens, every experience, every opportunity, every interaction with every people is a dot that I will only be able to connect in the future. Even in times when I'm in my mid-20s and I lost my job because the company closed down, it led me to meeting another person, which introduced me to another person, which made me realize the opportunity of healthcare. And so every dot, everything connects. So make your decisions, be brave, take that next step, even if it's the wrong step, because that step will connect you to the next dot and the next dot and the next dot. Second one is play your hand well. Everybody has been dealt. It's like if life is a game of cards, you have been dealt a set of cards. And so many people look at their set of cards and think, oh, well, I'm not blonde, I'm not tall, I'm not this, I'm not that, therefore I can't play. I found and I've used this in every aspect, and actually when I looked at for a quote, I actually didn't realize there was these quotes, if life was a game of poker. So you got to learn to deal. Your cards are your set of skills, are your talents, are what you receive. You need to learn to play that hand of card the best and not give up. Some people throw their hand in. Sometimes it's just a bluff. Sometimes it's making other people think that you can do the job, and then you learn the job further. So learn to play your hand that you've been dealt with the best that you possibly can. My lesson 3 is stop comparing. And women are amazing at comparing ourselves to others. I'm not this, I'm not as that, I'm not. There's always going to be people that's better. There's always going to be people that's worse. There's always going to be people that's richer. So to stop to compare yourself to other people is really setting yourself up for an unhappy life. When you can compare yourself to the person you were yesterday, or compare yourself to where you want to be, then you start internally focusing yourself and you become empowered to do the things in your journey. And I find once you stop comparing, it's always the people who compares themselves to others who miss out on so many opportunities. When you don't compare yourself to others, the whole world opens to people that want to help you, and people that want to get you to where you are. The next one is allow yourself to dream big, but also not just stay a dreamer, take actions. We found since little girls, we heard them like, don't dream too big. You know, it's, my mom always used to say, don't fly so high. You know, don't dream too big. It's like it's far to fall to the ground. You're going to just get hurt when you get disappointed. And that's the belief system I think many women, especially many South Africans, grow up with, is to be almost be too scared to dream. When I was in my, I think I was 15 years old, a family friend, a man, he was a prominent doctor in Cape Town, said to me, you know, if you are too clever, or if you get a degree, or if you want to dream too big, men are not going to like you. Men don't like women that's strong, and men don't like women that want to be successful. And at the age of 15, I thought, really? How can, I mean, that was his inspirational speech to me of how to live a successful life. So I wonder, I'm almost wondering now if I see him now, what he would say. So, but those are the things that we hear from people, that we hear and we think, why me, or I shouldn't dream so big. And it's absolute nonsense. Dream your dreams. Dream, doesn't matter how big they are. The bigger, the better, because the universe will conspire to help you achieve your dreams. And my last lesson of the 5 I want to share, that's all we call becoming. You need to become that person. You need to be first before it will happen. You need to become, if it's being a millionaire, you need to become in your head and in what you do, that millionaire first. If it is being a gym bodybuilder, you need to become it. You become it first, and the rest will, every opportunity will follow. Most people think that once they get the opportunity, then they will get ready for it, or then they'll deal with it. I found if you're ready for the opportunity comes. When I was a sales representative in my really early 20s, I was selling, I needed to learn to sell. So I became a salesperson so that I can get the free training. But even when I got through my sales training, I already did management courses at my own time and at my own cost, because I wanted to learn what my boss was knowing. I wanted to know my boss's job. And guess, once the job becomes available, the person that's already that manager gets the next job. Don't wait for your boss, or don't wait for other people to give you permission to further yourself. Become who you need to become to fulfill your dreams. Those are my biggest 5 lessons in life, and the tools that I've used in creating my different levels in my wealth life, if I could put it like that. Another question that I've been asked is tips. People, do I have tips for people that are attending a webinar? And I do. It is fear. Most of us are so damn scared and fearful of things that never even happens. So deal with your fear. The way I deal with fear is I just tackle it head on. And what can happen? And, you know, in the beginning, 20 years ago, I was so scared of selling. And when I had formulated my own products, I got it listed in some pharmacies, but the pharmacist said, hey, you got to come and sell it. So I had to go and stand every day facing customers, selling my products to them. I was so scared and like sweaty the first couple of days, but I faced it. And then the next thing, so you're going to be challenged with so many things that makes you scared and gives you a feeling of fear. The minute you deal with it, poof, it just evaporates, and you'll find you've learned a new skill, and you've learned something about yourself. So for women, I think we create and conquer very often a lot of fear for ourselves that might not be there. So do a reality check. And so what if you fail? And so what if it doesn't go the way you see it? Just do it, because that's one step closer to your confidence and to bravery. Next thing, I think that holds us back is worry. I think women in particular are warriors who constantly worry about this and about that. And I don't know who here would like that 2 o'clock in the morning when you lie awake and you worry about all these things and, oh, it's so huge. You wake up the next morning and you think like, what was I worrying again? And it just disappeared. It's not. So worry is one of those things that saps our energy. It saps everything. Just walk away from it. One of the biggest lessons I've had to learn is the excuses. The difference to where you are and where you want to be is the excuses we allow in our life. And we hear the excuses, oh, I'm a single mom. I am divorced. I am too young. I am too old. I am too this, I'm too that. So catch yourself. I had a coach many years ago who constantly called me on excuses that I was making, excuses that I didn't even know I was making it. And now I'm so aware of when I'm telling myself a story or when I'm making an excuse that will hold me back from the thing I really want to do. And I think just removing my excuses from my vocabulary and my thinking made a huge difference in me and my success. Guilt. Women are driven by guilt. Especially when you have kids and a family, when you're at work, you think you should be with your family. When you're with your family, you worry about work, and eventually everything becomes this big mesh of the day goes by and you don't even know what you've done. What I've done to deal with guilt was when I'm at work, I had my total task list, what I need to focus on and get done. And I had a specific amount of hours that I needed to do it in. And then I became conscious and present in that. I didn't think about family. I created little compartments in the afternoons, an hour, 2 hours, especially when my children was a little bit smaller. I was not thinking about work. It was just them. I was present just for them. And you'll find within an hour, being present with family and with children, you already achieve what you probably did 3 hours of not being present. And that was for me a big tool to be able to deal with the guilt of working hard and long hours, the guilt of at family, you still have to do so many things. So guilt is something that will hold us back, that if you can deal with it early on in life, your life you can achieve a lot more. Judgment. And ladies, here we judge ourselves, we judge others. And I find the people that judge most are the people that's not playing on the field. They're always the ones, the people that's made it, that's done it, that's achieved what they set out to achieve, hardly judge other people. As a matter of fact, they admire and recommend and support other people. So if you find that you judge other people for whatever, is maybe just go look in yourself and see why you have those feelings, why you have those judgments, because that will hinder you from becoming the ultimate amazing person that you're meant to be. It will create fears in yourself that you will not become amazing. So yeah, if you catch yourself, I think this is probably one of the worst things that women especially can do, and we love to judge other people instead of lifting other people up. So if we can, as a group of women together, just eliminate one thing, and I think that's judgment of others, and start playing on the field and start seeing how hard it is, start seeing how difficult it is to do what the person you're judging is doing, and then maybe become empathy and become more understanding. Okay, those are my 5 things that I think that are tips that I think if you can eliminate those, you can fly higher, easier. And then another question I got was, what would I tell my younger self? I constantly speak to her to say, it's okay. I think the one thing everything will be okay. Everything happens for a reason. Whatever happens to you, it will be okay in the long run. So just have faith and just trust that big things are about to happen and big things are about to come your way. I think that was sort of the questions that I want to ask. And I just want to say lastly, we are in 2020. 2020 is probably the most chaotic year. I mean, 3 days ago was April, and here we're sitting in August already. I don't know if everybody's days goes from Monday, Tuesday, Friday. So this is a chaotic year, and it's a year that's easy to become demotivated, to become, oh, like life is too much. But this is also the time to reflection. It's a time to think, what can I do different? It's a time to think where the opportunities are. In every time in history, when there was difficult times economically, was a hell of a lot of wealth was created, financial wealth, because of people that saw opportunities through that. So the next 20 years is not going to be easy. We're going into a different phase on the planet that if you look at trends on the planet, we're going to see a lot more witch hunts. You're going to see a lot more regional wars. So you cannot let yourself become disempowered by all the stuff that's going to happen in the world. All you can do is work on yourself, remove your limitations, become empowered, and do your part of making this planet and this world a better place. And with that, I want to say thank you. Are there any questions, Lee?
Thank you so much, Hilda. That was very inspiring. It's good to know that we are among such good company when we get to fear of success, fear of allowing ourselves the opportunity of a success and believing in ourselves and actually lifting up each other. Because you're right, absolutely everything that you said on this webinar tonight rings true with me. I'm sure it rings Pamela shaking her head in agreement. I think Megan smiling going, hell yeah. So I think of everyone on here, and we've got people that are coming through on the chat saying thank you, and oh, Siska thinks yay like stunning. I hope I did Afrikaans justice. We actually said that at the beginning, Siska, that we absolutely loved that Hilda brought her red to her. So I know that we've got quite a few questions that have come through. Pamela, have you been monitoring that? Have you seen the questions? Do you want to dive right in?
I have been monitoring that. So I don't know if I should start with my own question or with everybody else's questions. So I think I'll go with rather everyone else's questions first. And the very first question that we got was from Rachel Brown, who was asking, where are you? It looks like a warm place.
I'm in Texas. I'm in Austin, Texas. And today is about 30 degrees outside. So it's really hot.
All right, and then we'll move on to the next question, which, well, it was pretty much a comment as opposed to a question. Someone said, sorry, actually, Kim van Niekerk said, congrats, WealthE Migrate. This is empowering and such a privilege to have Hilda online. So thank you so much, Hilda, for agreeing to do this with us, because clearly we've put our name out there alongside your name, of course. And then I see another question that was asking, when did you move to the US?
Oh, I arrived in July 2018. So I've been here for 2 years now. Yeah, and I don't, again, another thing that I'm quite proud of myself, because to move with 2 young children or pre-teen kids to a new country, new town, finding schools, finding our way around was quite daunting. It's one of those fear things that you just have to tackle. And I'm really proud of us, the life that we've created for ourselves here in the last 2 years.
And I asked you this question in November, and it is popped up here. Why did you choose the US to move to? I know the answer, but let everybody know the answer.
So I was looking at something where the culture is very similar to South Africa, with the language, and we say language, but I've come to realize is we all speak English, but the words we use is so different. Like I still, after 2 years, people look at me like, huh, what are you saying? So so to me, it was where there's opportunities, where there's an entrepreneurial country where you can make it happen when if you work hard, and there's not a language barrier like potential Portuguese or Spanish or Italy or whatever, and where it's for my kids, the opportunity for my kids, because I think for their future, it's next level. I mean, there's a lot of negative stuff at the moment happening, and everybody sees the negative stuff in the media, but it's still an amazing country to live in, where there's opportunities that operates. Most people operate not of a place for fear, but of a place there's opportunity, and everything is sort of next level thinking, and that I like, and I wanted to expose my kids to that. You know, you have to work. It's a big country, so you have to really work hard to become in the top of your game here. Was that the reason Megan I gave in November? Is that the same? Okay. If my reasons have changed.
And then we have one from Anonymous who says, hi, I think I'm quite late, but I realized that you're part of WealthE Migrate board. Could you mention what's your position in the company and what and how you are contributing?
Right now, I've resigned off the board the end of 2019. So right now, I'm not a board member. I'm a shareholder, and I am part of I help Scott, whatever Scott needs opinions or help with or guidance on. We have discussions on what I believe the way forward could be or should be. But I'm not operationally involved in the business, and I'm not on board level or decision making right now. I wanted to create, to me, where I'm now, I feel that I'm going into the next phase of my life, and I needed to create space for that next phase to be able to reveal itself to me and come to me. And part of it was to look at where should I let go so that I can move on to the next. So I've resigned on all my board positions up where I was involved in right now, or up to now.
Yeah, Hilda's one of our oldest founding members of the WealthE Migrate board, and as she said, it's Scott's. She's Scott's sounding board. If he's not quite sure what the thinking is, he'll always ask Hilda.
I was about to say she sounds like Scott some of the times. Like in the time that I was listening, I can hear so many similar things that Scott says. Sorry about that, Hilda. Let me rephrase that. So he sounds like you, definitely.
I think Scott said he wants to say something. I don't know if he's allowed to. I think he left messages. I don't know if we're going to allow a guy to say something.
I absolutely will open it up to him in a minute. You can say something. Do you want to tell us about your mentors and your morning routine and how you actually get yourself into the flow of the day?
So it's a very different flow right now, because when I got to America, I took time off from everything to set up life and so my flow prior would be get up really early, like before 9. I'll tell you now about my flow here. Was I would get up between 5 and 6 in the morning. I still meditate. I walk and do some exercise, then have breakfast, spend some time before schools, getting the kids ready for school. And then I have spent every day of the week is in a different energy. Like Mondays would be my numbers energy. I would do my financial advisors, the directors, all the financial performances. So that's with my left brain energy. And I would stay in that space and we get all of that stuff done. Tuesdays would be meeting days. Like I would just talk to people, reaching out, who do I need to connect with. Wednesdays would be my creative days. Wednesdays, so every day of the week, I would split my day in doing certain things, and that I find was really helping me to be very productive. right now it's very different. You know, I still try and keep to that, but I'm still building a new network. I'm still building the next level of infrastructure. So I have a different flow right now, but I still, every morning I get up, I walk with the dog. That gives me time to connect with energy and nature. I meditate, and then I set off to do whatever my task for the day would be. And then in the afternoons, it would be family or quality time with people. Yeah.
Thanks, Hilda. Scott, you wanted to chat. We've opened you up to join our webinar.
Awesome. Well, I just wanted to congratulate all you ladies. So thank you. What have I got to do to put my screen on? Oh, well, I don't know. It's not often that I'm sitting on the other side as an attendee, but I just want to say to Hilda and to Megan and to Pamela and to you, Lee, well done tonight. I sent Hilda a private message in 2014 when we met, 2013, 2014, I can't even remember now, 2013. We were on a bus, this crazy story, and I won't go into all the details, but where we resonated was around a shared passion to empower women. In terms of what you ladies are doing tonight. So I just really wanted to say well done to all of you. And I think one of the things that's so exciting is that in the past, we used to have events like we're doing now, and we've done webinar series and everything else. But I'm hoping, Lee, that yourself or Megan or Pamela is going to share the new Women and Wealth platform so that the ladies can actually see and experience where the world is going and how really we're wanting to build and an entire movement around this. You know, this is a global opportunity to empower women and to actually provide a woman-focused platform with woman-focused products and even education and language and everything else. And tonight's really the first foray into that. So I just really wanted to congratulate all of you and say how excited we are. And, you know, Hilda, the one bit that I would add, and I loved your advice tonight, I really enjoyed it. Going through some tough times myself at the moment. And so it was really, really valuable to listen to again. And I think my point being is that, you know, if we'd said 7 years ago that it was going to take this long to get Women and Wealth going, we probably both would have been pretty irritated at the time. But I'm really grateful that we're actually there and the dreams become a reality now.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. I'm really proud of you ladies. It's amazing.
No, Megan and Pamela and Lee have done an amazing job, and Siska and the rest of the team. There's been a huge amount of work from the ladies to make this happen.
Yeah. Okay. I think, and Scott, I also have to say, I think it's the first time a webinar is within its time, the time limit we've set.
It's because Scott's not in charge.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, okay, I know I spoke very quickly because I was, like we were saying, 30 minutes for me to speak. So I would love to hear, like we have a couple more minutes if there's any more questions, comments, whatever.
There is a question from Nima who would like to know, do you think it's possible to have it all? She's referring to wealth, relationship, family, health, or does something have to suffer?
Oh, okay. I think everything has a price. When you want something, you need to understand the price of what it is. If you really become, and it depends on what your, like wealth, what your number is, having R1 million, 100 million, a billion, all of that changes you and it changes your journey. So, and as you grow and develop to become the person that deserves to be a 100 million rand person or a billionaire, you will lose people in your journey because you change or people stay behind. So everything has a price and the journey change over time. I think you can have it all, understanding what your price would be to pay for it. And maybe you don't have everything all at the same time, but you build. So you build it on like a building bridge, focus on certain things. Some people would want to focus on a relationship first and then build the wealth and then build French, whatever. So you need to understand how that picture looks for you, because how it looks for me is very different than for you. I understand the price of everything. I've learned to understand and evaluate for me what's the price, weigh it up versus am I willing to pay that price, and then I go for it. So my price to become super wealthy was I got divorced. My price for it now is I now have an amazing relationship. So there's different things at different phases of your life that to have it all that you got to pay. So just make sure that you understand the price and are willing to pay the price. I don't know, I'm answering it in a different way, but that's the only way I know how to answer it.
That's great. Thanks very much, Hilda. So Scott kindly put the link to the Women and Wealth platform into the chat. And I am just going to log into my own personal profile so that you guys can have a look. Unfortunately, I don't have any money in there to do a live investment tonight, but I'm going to show you. So this is just, we have created this for like-minded women who want to come and learn, who want to come and find out about investments. We have created a specific platform for them. So I just want to, sorry about the lag. It is definitely on my side. So this is our Women and Wealth platform. There are deals on here from various countries, as Megan said earlier. We have got, at the moment, from America. We've had deals in the past from the UK, from Australia. There are alternative investments, not just real estate, like structured notes, and you can find them all here on this platform, the Women and Wealth platform. This is our marketplace. I'm going to show you what it looks like if you have transactions. So these are the transactions. Your wallet transactions will sit here. You'll be able to see all your investments under one nice little screenshot over there. You can see what I've invested in all over the world. When you get dividends paid out, when you don't, it all happens quite seamlessly over there. And you also have a place where you can upload your documents. You can see your profile. It all happens quite seamlessly. And Scott, very well last night, he had money in his wallet and he was able to invest using dividends into one of our deals. It literally took him 3 minutes. That was because he spoke so long. Normally it would take a woman 30 seconds once you know what it is. And I joke, it's our internal joke with Scott, but Hilda's also laughing because she knows it's true. So we've created this.
We power everyone, Lee, even Scott.
Exactly, we do. So whether you go into the platform through wealthmigrate.com or you come through it through Women and Wealth, we really do encourage you to go and have a look, to see what is available, to click on the different articles and our knowledge base so that you can really empower yourself, understand real estate investment, what it means to you, how you can empower yourself, whether it is in this or in anything else that we have to offer on our educational platform. And really the starting point is join our community. You would have seen that I had the link up earlier. It's a Facebook group that is for women where you can discuss anything. We have community members there that will answer your questions. It's not only us, you speak amongst yourselves. We encourage you to please post anything that you have there where you can share your learnings with people, where people can share their learnings with you. You can ask questions and anything that relates to anything woman, really. It is not a place to come and moan or begroan. It is a place to come and grow. And so we really encourage you to join that. We have popped that into the chat as well so that you've got that readily available. Pamela, are there any other questions that have come up?
No, none. People are just eager to have the recording, which Nix has answered to say that it will definitely be available after the webinar. I don't want to put a time limit to it, but we will definitely be sharing it. I would like to ask Hilda, like, where do we follow you on socials? Because I am a woman, but I'm also a millennial. So where do we find you? Where do we see what Hilda does on a daily?
I have been on, well, I've been really low key. And then I was going to do, January was going to be, or 2020 was going to be my year. And then boom, COVID. So it's like, oh, well, whatever. So it's really on my Facebook page. I have a business page, and on LinkedIn. People can follow me on LinkedIn. And I will become more active henceforth with sharing and posting, etc. So I have Hilda Lunderstedt Visionary as my business page, and then my personal page is obviously Hilda Lunderstedt. And I know you millennials want me to be on Instagram, so I'm trying to find my passwords and all of my stuff. So we'll get on Instagram soon.
That's awesome. Thank you.
You'll be proud to know that Hilda, 2 years into American, and you're sounding very American with your password.
Oh, I know. Like, I have such a messed up accent at the moment because I'm speaking here and then people don't understand what I'm saying. And then I have to put the American twang, and now I'm like talking in South African. I have the American. Oh, sorry about that. I thought I was going to be purely South African accent tonight. Sorry about that.
It's all good. We've got members from 152 countries, so it's certainly not South Africa.
That was the last question. Must you be SA based only, or can you invest if you're a resident elsewhere, like Hilda? That's exactly the. Thank you, Scott, for answering that. You can invest anywhere around the world. Some countries are, I wouldn't say banned, I would say restricted. For now, only for now, we're working on a solution. Just only a few countries, literally a handful. But you more feel free to reach out to any one of us, and then we'll be able to assist.
So if there are no more questions that have come through, and there isn't any other that you or Pamela would like to ask, I'd just like to hand over to Hilda for closing comments or thoughts.
Sorry, before you go to closing comments, one question that I think would be very valuable for everyone is that Hilda's got an amazing ability to set goals and then turn her goals into a reality. And one of them, which many people like to hear the story of, was meeting Richard Branson. And I really think it would be valuable for you to share that story, Hilda, because everyone that's on this webinar has dreams and aspirations, but very few people know how to truly turn their goals into reality. And I just think it'd be such a powerful gift to give people.
Well, okay, here we go. Now we're going to run over the time. Okay. I think that question is it's a big question, and it's beyond meeting Richard Branson. It is how I basically live my life, and I have lucky that I taught myself over the last 20 years to really be clear on goals that I've achieved, or stuff that I want to achieve. And then obviously taking action, working on becoming the person. So who is the person that deserves what I want? And then what does this person do? It's like, if I want a really big company, and every year we would set our company goals and strategies, right? So who do I need to be able to have a company that does 200 or 300 million rand turnover? And okay, I need to have speaking skills, I need to have leadership skills, and I would work on those things to become that person, and then the rest would follow. And that's just how I live my life. And adding to that is to see the little, I call it miracles, happen. When you have this conversation and that person, and you have little conversations, you suddenly start meeting people, you start meeting people that want to help you. So I'm really very aware of conversations that comes into my consciousness, people that comes into my space, and the conversations I have, and then being able to filter in a value, whether it's in line with what my goals are. And sometimes you think your goal is one thing, but then you meet people and you have conversations, and it changes the whole direction of where you think you should be going. So it's also to be open and more flexible, to be led where you should be led, and not just be forceful into going where you think you need to go. So with one, it was with, I don't know if there's a specific story that that Scott's referring me or wanting to tell, but you know, I also believe if you want to be, there's that saying that if there's 5 billionaires and you hang with 5 billionaires, you'll be the 6th. If you hang with 5 idiots, you'll be the 6th. So I want to always be hanging with bigger people, people that knows more, people that's better at certain things than what I am. And that's also, again, something I imply in everything. If I want to build relationships better, I will find people that's great at building relationships that teach me. So with meeting Richard Branson's, I want to expose myself to the thinking of a billionaire. I mean, it was no ways of how can I just do it. And in through the journey of taking action, of talking, of asking people, of speaking and putting it out there, I started meeting people that knew him, that formed journeys to Necker Island. I was actually at a conference, I think it was in America, and they had a raffle ticket for 2 or 3 people to go to Necker Island. And I can't remember the details what I had to do, but I went to the organizer and said, I better win one of those tickets. I will do whatever it takes. What do I need to do? I want to go. And I'm not going to let you off the hook because I need to be on this trip. And they actually created another space for me to be on the trip. And that's how I got to know. So just go after whatever you want and notice the magic in your life, that what happens, the small magic, the small conversations, the people that you meet, the introductions that you get. And that's the part of the journey to get to your goals. And it's also, on the other hand, I get so good at achieving goals now that it's hard for me because I constantly need to think of new dreams and new goals. And it's hard also because you think, you go through a process of you don't want to be ungrateful for the things that you have, but you still need to learn. So like right now I'm doing a dream catcher course or dream circle. I'm part of a community of dreamers, of people that want to see the world different and want to manifest so that I can create bigger dreams for myself and my family. And so constantly finding those conversations or those groups that can get me closer to where I need to be.
I think, Hilda, that was the essence of what I was going to say, is actually just taking the time to dream. And then like the vision boards you do. And one of the things I was intrigued with was the way you even do it with your children and the gift you're giving them with that as well. But thanks for sharing. I just think it's a good way to end I'll let Lee do what she's wanting to do. But my point being is that it's such a valuable gift to give people that they can create the life they want.
Thank you, Scott.
Thanks, Scott. We've got one more question that has come through, Hilda, if you wouldn't mind asking, because I think it is truly valuable, this one as well. You mentioned being coached. Who have your most memorable mentors been?
It's different. Coaching and mentoring is very different because mentoring is, it depends. It's hard because it depends on what phase of life you're at or what the thing is that you want to be coached on. So, I have, that's a very hard question. I can't say any one person in particular. It is, I think Roger Hamilton played a big role in making me understand flow and making me understand the wealth spectrum and his teachings. But so has, I don't really like him anymore, but J.T. Fox, because he called me on excuses. So every person could be a mentor, could be someone that teach you. It doesn't have to be someone you learn from from even the smaller interaction. So what I'm looking is, what is this thing that I need to learn? Or what is this thing that I need to know? And then go find someone that has that knowledge. So for that particular thing. So it's very difficult to say one person has taught me everything. Does that make sense?
That's awesome. Thank you very much, Hilda. So that brings us to the end of our first Women and Wealth webinar for 2020. Closing comments, Hilda.
Oh, I think if I can, anyone can. A lot of people look at me now and think, oh, you're so lucky. It just happened. But nobody sees, I didn't grow up rich. If I didn't grow up with anything more than what the average person had. But what my mom did, I guess, instill in us is to be able to think big, and the ability to do that. You have 2 hands and 2 legs and 1 brain, and you can make it happen for yourself. And for her, I'm very thankful on the example she set. But truly, if I can, anyone can. The only difference possibly is the decisions we all make and the excuses we make. So if you stop with the excuses, one thing, if you can stop making excuses. Own what you do and own what you don't do. And that will already change your life. For me. And I want to say thank you to the 3 of you, and thank you to everyone that's on here. And thank you, Scott, for your kind words. And it's really been an honor to share, or to be invited to share my journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Hilda. Megan, any closing thoughts from you this evening?
Just that I've listened to you quite a few times, Hilda, and this is definitely a lot of things in here that I've never heard before, knowing you for the last 4 years. And thank you so much for being such a beautiful inspiration and an amazing start to our Women and Wealth journey. And we definitely look forward to working together to have you on more webinars with more inspiration. We look forward to seeing you much more.
Awesome.
Pamela.
It was lovely to meet you, and I've learned a lot in the past hour and 4 minutes than I think I ever have before. And I'm truly speaking, I'm not a financial person, and the first time I heard Scott speak, it opened a new world to me. And definitely what you said throughout this webinar shows me that it is possible. Just as you said, it is possible. If you can do it, anyone can do it. And just knowing that, having those words from someone who started off, wherever you started off, and to have you being this powerhouse now, it is amazing to hear, and it's very inspiring. And I hope it doesn't stop here. Continue teaching us women just how to do it.
Thanks, Pamela.
Thank you very much, Hilda. I echo what both Pamela and Megan have said. It was a phenomenal start to our Women and Wealth series, and no better person to start than someone that is so interwoven with the Wealth Migrate story and our community. So thank you very much for giving your time and your teachings. The comments that are coming through on the chat are all about how you've inspired everyone and how they are rearing to go. So to our community members who joined us tonight, thank you very much for being online and spending the last hour with us. We will be running another webinar next week, Thursday, same time, same place, with Janine Basil. So we really hope that you can join us then as we chat to Janine. We have recorded this. So many people are asking whether we can send the recording. So we will definitely send the recording out as soon as it's available. Hilda, thank you. You've been a true inspiration. And to Megan and Pamela for putting the series together and getting everything running. We really do appreciate your help. You guys are amazing. So to everyone, stay safe, stay healthy, and be blessed. We'll see you online next week. Take care.
Thank you, Lee. Thank you, Hilda. Bye.